It is great to be with you on the first fight weekend in July. Kevin Connors in for Brian Kenny this week. Well, while the U.S. celebrates the 4th of July holiday this weekend, boxing will celebrate one of its most significant bouts. Reno, Nevada will honor the 100-year anniversary of the Jack Johnson-Jeffries slugfest, with, among other events planned, an honorary bell ringing on the original site of the bout, as well as the unveiling of a plaque on the site where Johnson once trained. Bert Sugar looks back on the first fight of the century in this Ringside Remembers.
Ringside Remembers, this week in boxing history. Jack Johnson versus Jim Jeffries. On the day after Christmas, 1908, a little over 100 years ago, a boxing match - sociological struggle took place in a Sydney, Australia ring. For on that day, the man known as the Galveston Giant, a strapping 6-foot-plus, 200-pound tree of a man named Jack Johnson, unmercifully beat 5-foot-7-inch Tommy Burns to win the heavyweight championship of the world. This wasn't merely a changing of the guard. This was a black man beating a white man. And to the white establishment, it was unthinkable. Now the man who represented the strongest, most powerful, and most visible figure in the world was black. Someone had to avenge this wrong, to reclaim their title, their rightful place. And fighters weighing over 175 pounds and of the right complexion, called white hopes, stepped forward to put this black defiler back in his place. To many, only one man, the invincible Jim Jeffries, who had retired undefeated 4 years before, could restore all that was sacred. He would come back from his California alfalfa farm to recapture their crown. And so, on a hot, sultry Independence Day in 1910, in Reno, Nevada, the first so-called fight of the century took place. And most of the 15,760 fans who jammed into the amphitheater that afternoon to root for Jeffries brought with them Jeffries' money, making him a 10-7 favorite. But the hoped for never happened, as Johnson smothered everything Jeffries threw, all the while taunting Jeffries, the press, and Jeffries' cornermen. Tied up and frustrated, Jeffries, who had lost 100 pounds and looked to be in shape, suddenly appeared to age. His movements heavy, his punches weak. The realization that their hero was not the man they hoped he would be slowly began to dawn on the pro-Jeffries crowd, and their disappointment took voice in their pleas. "Jeff, it's up to you." Finally, in the 15th round, Johnson ended their hopes forever, flooring Jeffries for the first time in his career. Jeffries was knocked to the canvas again by 2 lefts. The crowd screamed, "Stop it! Stop it! Don't let him be knocked out!" But promoter Tex Rickard, acting as the referee, waved the 2 fighters together again. As Johnson rained unanswered blow after unanswered blow to Jeffries' unprotected jaw, Jeffries slowly sank to the canvas for a 3rd time, his arm hanging over the middle rope. One of Jeffries' cornermen started climbing into the ring. Without finishing his count, Rickard walked over to Johnson and placed his hand on the champion's shoulder. The crusade was over. I'm Bert Sugar for Ringside Remembers.
A seminal moment in boxing, and joining us now from Reno, Nevada, where this weekend they are celebrating the 100-year anniversary of this historic fight, the Ring Magazine #2 ranked super middleweight and 2004 Olympic gold medalist, undefeated Andre Ward. Andre, tell us why you are in Reno this weekend.
Well, several reasons. I mean, the first reason is it's time for a little vacation with me and my family. And, the second reason is, I have some history in Reno. Had family members who lived up here, and I've been going up to Reno since I've been a young boy and fought several amateurs up here. And the third reason is obviously to support the 100th-year anniversary of the Jack Johnson-Jim Jeffries fight. And just happy to be a part of the festivities, happy to be a part of the event. It's Jack Johnson is someone who I respect, and, I've done my homework on him, and I understand his history, so I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm just happy to be a part of this great event.
Neat to see a current fighter with his perspective on history. You find yourself atop the Super 6 tournament standings following wins over Mikkel, Kessler, and Alan Green. Let's talk about the Green fight, Andre. What did you learn about yourself in that win?
Well, like I said after the Kessler fight, the Green fight went, as planned as far as the results. But, we didn't, my team and I, we weren't necessarily looking for that kind of fight as often as we fought it. And I'm speaking of the inside fighting. We fought most of the fight inside in close quarters. But the thing is, I'm learning that if you're going to be a champion for a long time, you have to know when to abort the original game plan and make the necessary adjustments. So around the third round, I was able to do that. I saw that Alan Green wanted to fight inside, and I was happy. I was fine with it. Very comfortable fighting inside. So that's what we did, and it was enough to get the victory.
Comfortable indeed. It certainly looked that way. And so you're into the semifinals of the Super 6. But first, you'll face Andre Durrell, 19-1 as a professional, and your good friend. What's it like knowing you'll soon fight a good friend of yours?
Well, it's definitely not a natural thing or a comfortable thing to do. But, I think Durrell and I both understood what we were getting ourselves into when we signed up for this Super 6. And, ideally this was a matchup that we wanted to have later on down the road where monetarily, there was really no losers. We would be able to set ourselves up and set our families up for life. But, it seems that the fight is here, and this is something that we're both going to have to acknowledge and just face and do what we have to do.
Well, super middleweight champ Andre Ward, enjoy the summer. We know that you're taking the RV up to Washington. Enjoy that trip with the family, and thanks for joining us here on Friday Night Fights.
Hey, as always, thank you very much.